Hello friends. Hello friends, good morning. How are you? Today is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. I hope you're doing well. What's it like out today? It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. We got partly cloudy skies, sunshine. It's warm. Probably around 20 degrees Celsius. Maybe around 72 Fahrenheit. Maybe 70. 69, maybe 18, 19. Lots of leaves. Lots of leaves on the trees. Just a beautiful day. So I just wanted to make a quick video, let you know how the election went here locally. We had the mayor get re-elected. It was quite close actually, because there's only about 900 votes in difference between the two candidates. Only two candidates running for mayor in a city of over 10,000, a region of over about 25,000. So quite surprising that only two candidates ran for mayor, and it was quite a close contest. The incumbent didn't do any campaigning. They just put their name up for re-election and they got re-elected. So I guess they must have had enough momentum to simply get re-elected from being the existing mayor, which was quite interesting. The competing candidate seemed to work quite hard. He advertised a lot and he had a lot more exposure. He has his signs everywhere, but he still came in second place. So that was an interesting result. The school board candidates was mixed across the province. Locally, the candidate that got elected got about 2,000 votes. So about 5,000 people voted, which is about 25%, or 20 to 25% of the eligible voters. You got a 25,000 population in the region, and about 5,000 people voted. According to their stats, they said that about 33%, so about a third of the eligible voters voted, which is interesting, which tells me that the majority, two-thirds of the population did not vote. And that means this silent majority are abdicating their right to vote. They're just giving up. And they've got their reasons. Maybe they're too busy, or they don't understand it, or they're not interested, but they're eligible to vote. They just choose not to. So anyway, out of the 1/3 of the people that voted for the local school board trustee, about 5,000 votes, that's split up into 4 or 5 competing candidates. And there was, 3 or 4 candidates that seem your average everyday, interested in normal things. But then the one candidate, who is the progressive diversity candidate, he's the one that got elected. Because I guess people that are interested in ideological indoctrination of children are the ones that actually vote. And the vast majority, they do not vote. They don't care. They just have their reasons why it's not important, and they decided not to vote. And so the one candidate, he got elected, and so it's funny. I guess that's the way it goes. And across the region, most of the candidates that fall into that category were elected. There was an exception. The mayor of Ottawa didn't get re-elected. That was quite a surprise. The capital city, but they got turfed out, so that was interesting to see. So I'd say about mixed results. Some good candidates got re-elected. Mike Ramsey, for example, got re-elected, so good for him. So some mixed results. Some good candidates got re-elected. Some new good candidates got elected. Some not so good candidates also got elected. But I guess that's what happens in an election. You get a variety. So let's not talk about that anymore. Let's talk about something a little different. I saw someone make a video today, and they were commenting, and they said, what's happening in the world today is that the population needs to be reduced. This is what they were saying, right? And they said if people don't realize that they're being targeted for reduction, then that's the qualification. Then they don't deserve to stick around. And he was talking about the advancements that have been made in genetic engineering and what have you, that in a very short period of time, according to some quote-unquote experts, a short period of time, perhaps in another generation, 30, 40 years down the road, maybe sooner, maybe a little later, that human beings will be able to extend the lifespan to several hundred years. So you'll see people like the elites will be able to live pretty much as long as they want through genetic engineering. We're already starting to see the antecedent, the foretaste, the initial evidence of that through things like stem cell treatments, where people can extend their lifespan. So you'd expect to see people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. They won't live a normal lifespan. They'll live to over 200 years old, and then the next generation will be even indefinite. Maybe 500, 600, 700 years, 800 years, 1,000 years would not be unusual. And that's interesting to note because the biblical characters lived to those ages. Methuselah, Adam, people like that, Moses, and Moses only lived to 100 and something. Noah, a few hundred years. I forget all the ages of the patriarchs and people like that. And so, because of that capability that's fast approaching, there'll have to be a reduction of the existing longevity. And so within the public school system, the training that wants to be emphasized is any type of training that encourages non-proliferation. So anything that encourages what you could call sort of not reproducing or sterility, or that could be biological training, sociological training, political training, teaching people that to have children is a threat to the planet, and so on and so forth. Teaching people that it's better to be, sterile, right? Through however many avenues there are to achieve that. There are many different avenues to achieve that. From a cognitive, from a sociological perspective, that could be indoctrinated into the curriculum. So if you have children in public school, that's what you'll be facing. For the most part, you'll have to homeschool or private school or find other alternatives to achieve an education which is strictly based on what I would call genuine knowledge, reading, writing, arithmetic. They have some type of, they have a boom. Someone's getting some cement poured over there. And they have a boom extended. Last time I was videoing, I heard this loud noise. I thought it was like landscaping equipment. It was actually a street sweeper that I had heard. It was making all the noise. This time we have a cement truck, and you probably can't see it hidden in the trees, but there's a cement truck that has a boom that's used to deposit cement in a remote location, so it's hard to get in there. And so they use that big long thing that's probably like close to 60, 70 feet long that can deposit cement wherever you want to put it, right in someone's backyard or what have you. So that was an interesting video I watched by a fellow, and he was talking about this type of global IQ test, saying that if you're not smart enough to know that you are on the list for removal, then that's the criteria, so to speak. I thought that was an interesting opinion. Not sure how I should react to such an opinion, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless. Might be a little loud here, I apologize with the traffic, but we'll see. Just enjoying the beautiful leaves and the trees and the fresh air. Really nice out today, really nice. Just beautiful. So what else did I want to talk about? I'm reading a new book by Carl Jung. He was a famous psychologist. It's only a short little book, about 85 pages. It's called Synchronicity. And in this book, I mean, it's translated from German, so it's a little bit hard. You probably lose something in the translation. And he's trying to speak academically, and he's talking about things like acausal and things like that. But really what he's trying to say is he's trying to find a reason for when events happen in a person's life that seem to be beyond chance. You know, he's studying about the history of the symbol of the fish, and then he walks along the street and he sees a dead fish on the side of the road. And then he goes to his local market and somebody offers him a fish for sale. And then he sees a client that he's doing psychotherapy for, and they tell him about a dream they had of a fish, and so on and so forth. The leaves falling down is just beautiful. I'm sorry I got distracted by the beauty of the leaves falling. And so, and all these things happen within the span of a couple of days. And so he says that this is a type of synchronicity. You can't explain it through chance. And he talks about other examples. They actually do these parapsychology, these ESP, extrasensory perception tests, where people try and guess these different types of cards. One card has a circle, one card has a square, one card has a triangle, maybe 4 or 5 different shapes, and they shuffle up the deck and keep them hidden from the test subjects. And then they ask the test subjects to guess what's on the cards. It might get a little windy here, it might get a little bit. I'm going to try and adjust this camera a little bit. It's just a little bit off. Sorry about that. It's just not quite pointing right on this gimbal for some reason. I hope it's not too windy on the sound. As soon as the wind picks up, it's going to make a horrible noise on the audio, so sorry about that. In any event, they try and guess, and they go through 25 guesses in a row. And they even had one test subject who got all 25 guesses in a row correct, which would be something crazy like 1 out of 400 trillion. And the majority of the test subjects score better than random. Random would be 5 correct guesses out of 25. I'm not sure. I'm not a statistician. I'm not an expert in figuring out these odds, but whatever the odds are for random guesses, they say that most often the results are better than random. And when it's a new experiment with a fresh group of people and it's announced as something new and exciting, the results go up even higher. And as the test goes on, if they do it more often, the results start to drop. And so, again, Jung calls this synchronicity. He tries to explain it. Now today, since this was done, this is going back many, many years ago. He's long since passed away. Today we have studies done in quantum research that tells us that there is a possibility to have quantum entanglement at a distance where the brain wavelengths, the electrical impulses from our minds can affect things on the other side of the world. We may have a relative that lives in Australia, maybe we're living in the United States, and that person faces some disaster, and the person can sense it. And physicists may try and explain this to us today by saying, well, there's a scientific reason behind that, because there's this quantum entanglement which is unseen. And I think most people would agree that they've always felt that this is true, that there is this possibility for unseen connections. And this is the point that I think I wanted to make. What Jung was studying was, he was saying how this is the anomaly, this is the rare occasion. He constantly looked at it as something rare and unusual, where my thinking is that it actually is happening all the time, constantly, but for the most part we simply don't recognize the synchronicity that we are experiencing each and every day. That everything is synchronous, so to speak, and that there is no such thing as something that is not synchronous. Everything is synchronous with everything else, depending on our perspective. If it's not obvious, doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that we cannot perceive it. So that's what I'm working on today, and I'm just going out and getting a walk. It is so warm, it's really starting to heat up. It's got to be over 72 degrees out here. It's got to be over 20 degrees Celsius by now for sure. Because the traffic is getting loud, I think I'm gonna end this video shortly. Probably because the background sound is probably too loud. Who do we have here? There's a 1 horsepower. Heading over to the Food Basics. So let's just keep on walking here. Here we go. What's going on over here? Ah, they're doing construction. Digging up the road. Putting in some new pipes underground. Ripping up the street over there. What do we got over here? Blueberries. A VIP sale. Blueberries for $1.44. Well, I guess that would be a small pint of blueberries. I think blueberries normally sell for around $4 a pint. Imagine that. $1.44 for a small pint of blueberries. I wouldn't say it's a real pint. It's really just a mini pint. 5 or 6 ounces. I'm not sure how much is in there. How are we doing for time? If I could see the time here. Well, I think that's it for today. So you have yourself a wonderful day wherever you are. God bless you. I pray that you're blessed in all that you do. I love you very much. Thank you for joining me today on this walk. And we'll talk to you again real soon, okay? Take care. Bye-bye. Whoa, there's the big truck. Take care now. Bye-bye.